So hello again. I am now 16 weeks pregnant, and I thought I'd do a little update on my 16-week appointment with Dr. David Wall. He's at Altaview Hospital, if I haven't explained before. He is one of the most VBAC and natural birth supportive doctors in Utah that I have found. He was personally chosen by Dr. Parker to take his place at his old practice in American Fork to kind of carry on those same beliefs about how natural birth was best and trying to do anything to avoid a C-section. And unfortunately, American Fork Hospital, after Dr. Parker retired, the rest of the doctors didn't really believe in those philosophies anymore, even though Dr. Parker was the one who started the practice there in American Fork. And so they pretty much said to Dr. Wall, who started there for a couple of weeks, that he wasn't a good fit, which is absolutely ridiculous because he's amazing. And so he switched to Altaview Hospital, the women's center up there, and I'm glad I found him. I'm a little disappointed that he's just so far away, but it's about a 45-minute drive, but it's worth it to me. And so today was my second appointment with him in 16 weeks, and even though it's so close to Christmas, with it being 3 days away, he personally did my ultrasound today, even though the tech wasn't in the office, and we got to find out the gender, which I am so excited to say that it's a girl, and I have two boys, so my husband and I have been talking about this being our last child, and so a girl is just perfect. It rounds out our family, and I'm just so excited to have a little girl to, my husband says to dress up, but for all of the events that will happen after getting to dress her up as a little girl. So I'm really excited, and I believe he is too. So I bet he is just going to be one of those dads that's, his little girl has him wrapped around her fingers. So we had my mom there, and Eric was there, and our two boys, and so they got to see the baby, and it was pretty amazing at first when we went in there, and we started the ultrasound. The baby was turned with her back facing up, and so we weren't able to see what the gender was at first, and Dr. Wall just immediately like, oh, that's okay, we can fix that, and puts down the little wand and takes his hands and immediately just flips the baby around on my stomach. It was so smooth, and I mean, with even the baby only being 16 weeks old, he was just able to move her, and we got into a good position, and we were able to find out, which was so exciting. So I can't even tell you, VBAC now has been no farther from my mind than right now. But I am looking forward to getting back to my research, and now that I'm starting to feel a little bit better, even though I've been still sick a lot with this pregnancy, even on medication, Dr. Wall has upped it. He's decided to add another medication on top of my Zofran that I've been taking, called promethazine, that you take at night to help with the nausea throughout the night and early in the morning, which is, of course, when I get it the worst. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that starts to help and take the edge off a little bit, so I can start getting back to exercising more, which is really, I think, having my body trained in that way has really helped with a lot of the symptoms. I'm thinking that it could have been worse, which is hard to believe. So I know that getting back to exercise and getting back into being in shape and eating a better diet is really going to help the rest of my pregnancy along. I apologize for sounding all stuffy. I've been sick the last couple of days with a cold, which on top of everything has just been absolutely wonderful during these holiday seasons. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about Dr. Wall a little bit. I started looking at midwives at first. I'm not really sure if I've talked about this in my last video, but I started meeting with a midwife down here in Springville where I live, named Rochelle Jolly, and she was great. She was super supportive and very knowledgeable and wanted to give me my best chance. The only thing is that she takes the summer months off, and I wasn't expecting to get pregnant so soon, but being due in June, that's when she's not taking patients, and so I had to find someone else. And after talking about it with my husband, we decided that being in a hospital with a doctor really was the best idea after 2 C-sections, just in case anything happened. But in order to keep that more natural, holistic vibe that I wanted, we are going with a midwife, doula, who will come and help support me during the actual birth. And I'm still trying to finalize which doula I want, which I have lots of time still, but Dr. Wall did recommend Sherry Price, and I went to meet with her and some of the doulas at her practice, and they all seem really amazing. So I'm excited to have their support and their knowledge and experience at this next birth, which hopefully, with being a girl, her head won't be so big, and maybe I won't have as many issues, since both of my boys had giant heads, like 100 and 115th percentile head size. So, here's hoping with that kind of support. Just a little plug-in for Dr. Wall. With all of the OBs that I met, he has just been besides supportive of VBACs and holistic birth and believing in a woman's body and its capabilities, he is just the most honest and caring demeanor. And I say that with, like, true sincerity. Like, he really believes that getting to know you and what you want out of your birth is the best way for him to be able to help you, and for him to know how to add to that experience. And I feel really lucky to have met him. I've done a ton of research on his ratings online, people's reviews, and I know that some of those can be doctored, and I take it with a grain of salt, but really all of the groups that I'm on, Facebook and other mom groups, everyone who has been with him or have heard of him or has met with him totally agrees that his demeanor is very professional. He's always calmed their jitters, their concerns, answered all of their questions knowledgeably, but in a way that they can understand, and was very sympathetic to their situations, because some moms have really, really tough pregnancies, a lot of issues to keep in mind. And even though mine is not necessarily a high risk pregnancy, besides the 2 C-sections, he makes it as if my request, my wants for this birth, for wanting a VBAC, are not out of this world. They're not crazy. I'm not crazy for wanting this, and for looking and researching and trying to find that support. it really makes me just accept my views for something that is completely doable. And, you know, that might be one of the reasons why it wasn't effective the last 2 times, was because there's someone who's just thinking, you know, this person can't do this, or, you know, this isn't working, let's just do the easy route. And that's not what I want. I wanted someone who was going to be willing to take in the facts and to be able to tell it to me straight, but also to be able to believe in what my body could do. And I feel like he is one of the best options for me to be able to get a VBAC. So, which should help. If whether I'm successful or not, I will know that I did all that I can, and that's exactly what I wanted in this experience, to know that I did what I could to get as close as I could to that wonderful birth experience, and not the scary ones that I had before. So, here's hoping, and anyone who's considering meeting with Dr. Wall, I completely recommend him, at least meeting with him to see if your personalities click, but he's always been super kind, and like I said, very sympathetic and professional. So if you're thinking about it, here's my plug for him. And just to wrap up, I'm now 16 weeks pregnant, due June 8th, and which is right after my birthday. I'll be 27. This is, like I said, again, this is probably going to be my last pregnancy. My husband and I have decided that 3 kids was a good number for us, and so I don't feel like trapped into this being my last opportunity for a VBAC. I feel like this is, everything has really lined up to give me my best chance. So whether success or not, I think I feel like this has been a crazy journey, and I am ready to reach that finish line and put all my effort into it, and, you know, finally get peace and an acceptance of having 3 beautiful children and being the mom that I am supposed to be. So, no cliches intended. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll have another video for you soon. Thanks.